Hi everyone, this is Tabor Cope, and this is my 8th video in a series of videos about budgeting. In this video, I'm going to go over how to use my spreadsheet. In my previous 2 videos, I went into an in-depth introduction over every section of the spreadsheet. And so if you haven't seen those videos first, I recommend that you go watch those first. You can get to those videos by clicking on the links in the description below, or you can go to my website, taborcope.com. And on my budgeting page, all the videos are laid out there in a nice clean format. Also, on my website, taborcope.com, there's a link to this template that I've got showing right here, which is my template of my budgeting spreadsheet. It's a Google document, and the first thing you're going to do is when you open it up, it's going to be a view-only file that's available on my website. So if we jump into how we're going to use it, first thing you're going to do is you're going to go here to File, and because I only have a view-only copy on my website, you'll need to make a copy of your own. So under File, then you can go to Make a Copy, and here you'll give it the name that you want. Okay, it's going to open up a new tab in your browser, and now you can see I've got my very own copy made right here. Now along the top, you can change the name if you'd like, and then here you can also put in the year for whatever year you're in. Now when you're starting out, there's a few things that you're going to do, and then once you've got started out, then there's just going to be how you're going to use the spreadsheet on a day-to-day basis. So starting out, what you're going to do in January specifically is you're going to put in what nickname you would like for your bank accounts and for your credit card accounts. So for this example, I'm just going to pretend like I have a Wells Fargo checking account, and so I'm going to nickname this bank account as WF Checking. And for checking 2, then let's pretend I have a Bank of America account. And so I'm going to name it B of A Checking. Then for credit card, I'm going to pretend like I've got an American Express. And so I'm going to nickname it American Express. Now once I've done this in January, then as I go through the other months in the spreadsheet, you'll notice it'll automatically bring over whatever I typed in. Additionally, in the category boxes down below, when you have the drop-down menu for a withdrawal transaction, then it also has what I typed in up there as well. So you can see I have WF Checking, B of A Checking, and American Express for credit card. All right, now if you're starting at the beginning of the month, you can just type in what dollar amount you have at the beginning of the month. So just log into your Wells Fargo checking account, whatever day that you're at, and just see how much is in there. So for this example, then we're going to pretend I've got $1,000 in there. And in my B of A checking, I'm going to have $200. Then on my American Express credit card, we'll say that I've got a balance of $150 charged to the credit card already. Okay, now what you're going to see already is that in my difference here, it's got it totaled out. I've got a total of how much I've got in my bank account, total of how much I have on my credit card accounts, the difference, and then I've got $1,050 that I need to allocate somewhere. Now that's money that I've started. So again, this is when I'm setting up the spreadsheet. Now if you've never used this spreadsheet before or anything similar, then you can just distribute that money into different categories down below. Now in January as well is where you want to start deciding what type of categories you want to have, and you'll type in the names here at the top of each one of the category boxes. And whatever name you type in the boxes, it'll carry it out throughout the rest of the year. So again, like this first one is charity. Whatever I type in January, it will reflect in that same box throughout the rest of the year. I'm going to go ahead and leave the boxes alone, but at this point, then this is where you would type in whatever category names or envelope names that you want to give the category boxes. So for this example, I'm going to keep it simple, and I'm going to use the top 3 boxes along the top. So for charity, I'm going to deposit some money, and you can put in whatever notes or comments you want here. And let's put in $400 in here. So you'll notice now that the current end of month balance for my charity category is $400, and now the money I have left to allocate is $650. I'm going to come over here to the food budget, and I'm going to plug in some money here, and I'm going to put in $300. And for emergency savings, then I'm going to go ahead and put in the remaining amount, which is $350. So $350. Now you can see that my money not allocated box is at 0. Now if I over allocate money, in other words I put more money distributed in my categories than I have in all of my bank accounts combined, then it's going to show up as a negative number. So see here in food, let's say I put in $310 as a deposit. Now it's going to say I've over allocated the money. I've put in an extra $10 into my categories that I don't have in my banking accounts. And so you don't ever want this to be negative. You want it to be 0. You want to have all your money allocated in 2 different categories. So I'm going to change that back to 300. Another thing you're going to want to do when setting up the spreadsheet for the first time is kind of think about what number you want to put in for your complement. This is, I go over this complement box in my 7th video, but it's basically how much money you maybe want to regularly put into this category. And whatever you put in January, it'll carry it through the rest of the year as well. So for this example, let's say I put in $300 for the complement. So when I go to February for food, you'll see that the complement is at $300. And then in our money flow box, it totals up all the money that I put in the complement boxes in all the category boxes. So if I put in $400 here for the charity complement, then you'll see it totals it up to $700. Now, the beginning of month balance, if you have been using this spreadsheet and you're starting out a new year, then you'll go to your charity category of the previous year's spreadsheet and find out what the current or end of month balance is for that charity box, and you'll punch that in here at the beginning of month. Additionally, if you're using the spreadsheet from previous year, then you'll go ahead and just plug in whatever was the end of month balance for your bank accounts or credit card accounts, and you'll type it in here. Now, as we move on from month to month, then you won't have to do that. The spreadsheet will automatically bring over whatever your end of month balance was in January for your charity category, and it'll automatically plug it in as the beginning month balance for that category. All right, so we're all set up now to start running for the year. Now we'll pretend that I've started to use this spreadsheet mid-year. And so we'll go ahead and go to March. Let's pretend we're in March. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start putting in transactions as they happen. So let's pretend that at the beginning part of March, I get paid from work. Okay, and I get $1,000. And I'm going to deposit that money into my Wells Fargo checking account. Now you'll notice, that I now have $2,000 in my Wells Fargo checking account, and I've got $1,000 I need to allocate. So I'm going to go ahead and allocate some money here. And you'll notice that my current end of month balance changes for the charity. I've got $600 left to allocate. So I'm going to put in some money into this category. And again, the same thing happens. And now I've got $300 left that I need to allocate. So I'm going to put that $300 into this emergency savings category. Okay, so now I've allocated all my money. So like I said, you always want to check this and make sure that you allocate your money. Now, I'm going to put in all my transactions. And what I'll do is, well, maybe how I should have started this is that I'll pull up in a different tab in my browser my bank accounts, and I'll pull up my credit card accounts. And I'll log into them and I'll view all the transactions that have happened for my banking accounts and for my credit card accounts. And I'll start putting them into the spreadsheet. Additionally, when I actually do make a purchase, I will ask for the receipt, and I'll hang on to the receipt and make sure that whatever posts on my accounts is what my receipt reflects. So let's pretend that I go to the store and I make a purchase of food, and it's $150. Now you'll notice that it automatically took out the $150 from my current end of month balance, and to make sure that it shows up in the money flow box, I'm going to say that I use my American Express credit card. So now you'll see that my American Express credit card has got $150 charged to it, has started out the month with a $150 balance, so my current balance on my American Express credit card is $300. Okay, now I'm going to go back to food, and let's say a few days later, I make another purchase, and this time I decide to use my debit card from my Wells Fargo checking. And you'll notice here that now my balance for Wells Fargo checking is $1,955. Now you'll continue to do this through all of your different transactions. So you'll just go down, scrolling through the spreadsheet, go to all the different categories, and put in the transactions that you have into whatever category that you want. And then you can see, okay, this is how much money I have in this category, or in this envelope, if you will. And I know that I'm not going to get paid for another 2 more weeks, and so I'm not going to be able to put any more money into this category until another 2 weeks is up, or until next month, if you only get paid once a month. And so you have to make sure that you can make it last until that time. Now once I've put in all the transactions, and I've got it all input in the spreadsheet, then I'm going to double check all these current / end of month categories for all my accounts and make sure that they match what the bank says. So I'm going to log into my Wells Fargo checking account, and I'm going to say, okay, what's my current balance? And it's going to say $1,955. And I'm going to go to my spreadsheet here, and I'm going to say, yep, it says I have $1,955. Both of them match. Okay, we're good to go. Then I'll go ahead and pull up a different tab in my browser, log into my Bank of America checking account, do the same thing. Make sure that what I have showing in the spreadsheet is also what they have showing. And additionally, the American Express, log into that, and says that I owe $300 to them on my balance. That's what I've got here. And so this is what I'll do basically on at least a weekly cadence is what I recommend. You can do it every day if you want. You can do it midweek. But I'd say at least once a week, then you'll want to go in and look at the transactions that you've had. You know, you can go through receipts, or you can just pull up your accounts online, and you can input all the withdrawal transactions in here. And then if you happen to have gotten paid or got some other money from some other place, you can put it in here, and then it'll show up the money here that you need to allocate that money. And then you can allocate it into the different categories. Now we talked about this in my previous video about the transfers between accounts, but if you want to, you can transfer money. And so let's say I want to put a little more money into my Bank of America account because I know I've got a bill that gets paid from there automatically, and that's coming up soon. So I'm going to go ahead, and you can put in whatever notes you want, and I'm going to transfer over $400, and I'm going to transfer it from my Wells Fargo checking account to my Bank of America checking account. So I can make that transaction happen in their websites, but to show it in my spreadsheet, then this is where I do it here in the transfers between accounts box. And so now you can see after that transfer that now my new balance for Wells Fargo checking is $1,555, and now I've got $600 in my Bank of America checking. Now let's say as we get moving further down the month, I decide to pay off my credit card. Well, this is also where you will show in your spreadsheet where you've paid off your credit card. It's basically a transfer between the accounts. And again, I go over that in the previous video. So I'm going to put in the notes here. And I'm going to look over here, and it looks like I've got $300 currently. So I'm going to go ahead and put in $300. I'm going to pay that from my Wells Fargo checking, and that is going to go to the American Express. Now you notice over here that I've had a payoff of $300, and so my current balance is 0 from American Express. So this is pretty much it in how to use the spreadsheet on a daily basis. Because it's a Google document, then I have access to it on my smartphone. And so when I go to the store, I can open up the spreadsheet and I can look at the different categories down below. And I can see how much money I've got in my food category, or I can see how much money I've got in my toiletries and beauty care, or my transportation category. And like I said, about once a week, then I will take my receipts out of my wallet or wherever you keep them, and I will put in my transactions wherever they belong into whatever respective category. And then I'll match that up also with what my statement says for either my bank account or my credit card account. And on a regular basis, then I'll make sure that what I'm showing as the current balance matches to what they say as well. And that's pretty much it. In the next video, I'm going to go over how you can do inter-category transfers. So if you want to transfer money, let's say from my emergency savings category to my food category, I'll cover that. And I'll also cover when you do returns. If you buy something at the store and then you decide to return it later, I'll also show you how to transact that in the spreadsheet as well. If you like this video, then please share it with others, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.